if you screen early, you can prevent up to 95% of episodes of decay at presentation, which sets you up for a much better outcome for the rest of your life, quality of life, survival, longevity, and the amount of money you're going to spend, obviously. Number two, in order to be effective at what you guys are talking about, which is delaying the onset, using some experimental therapies now, the immune sensitivity studies, cell transplantation, you need to diagnose these children early in the process before their beta cells are depleted. So, what the patients and the researchers will tell you, it's all about beta cell preservation. The more beta cells you can preserve by not landing in decay, the less episodes of hypoglycemia you have, the less of an insulin need you have, the better quality of life you have, even if there's no intervention. When we get these data points and we can hand them over to the researchers, then they can move along to getting us closer to what we want, which is better outcomes for all of the population. And that's why I'm fascinated, because between the two of you, you have about 12 million kids in your database set and almost 10,000 clinicians. So we could really be very impactful if we're working together on multiple different strategies to get these kids screened, the pediatricians educated, and the right data to the scientist. So let's start with a simple question. How do you think, Dan, that we can work together as a community to make this a reality?
I think that Chip and I would both agree that people tend to think about the EHR, the electronic health record, and really that's the wrong terminology. And Chip and I think a lot alike in a lot of ways. And I facetiously tell some of my folks at OP that we need to change our perspective and be thinking about it being an electronic health manager. And when we think about the products that we put out, when we think about the services that we provide, it's all about how we enable pediatricians, pediatric clinicians to manage. And there aren't too many other EHRs, frankly, that are focused not only on pediatrics, but focused on management from the perspective of prevention and tracking and treating. We're very good at asthma action plans. Trust me, in the next couple of years, PCC and OP are going to have diabetes action plans. We're going to have pre-diabetes action plans. We're going to have diabetes action plans, etc. And this is the way our brains think and where we are going in the future. I don't think we're going to have any luck, Chip, convincing everybody to go to the terminology of EHM versus EHR, right? But that's the way that he and I think privately that we need to be. And that's why we think that there are opportunities in diseases like diabetes to really make a difference through the EHR.
Your thoughts, Chip?
I agree. The fact is, EHR vendors, we sell sadness. Historically, we have. No one wants to use an EHR, except for the biggest nerds. You want to engage with the patients. That's why you went to med school. You get intrinsic reward from actually helping people. The EHRs, like even at our best, Dan and I, we are hamstrung by the requirements that the federal government puts into place, the state government puts into place, and the big bad guys, the insurance company. All right. Most of the time when George goes and sees a patient, he's a click monkey for Blue Cross or United or whoever else, because he has to click these things and do this stuff, some of which has to do with actual care. But most of the time, you're proving that you didn't cheat on your coding, all right, which you don't. Pediatricians just don't. And that you were doing some sort of community or like large scale health measurement, all right, that is not usually done very well. What a pediatrician wants to do is help kids. And we are finally at a point that we're at this horizon where some of the communication among the EHRs, and it's not the EHRs, the communication among the health systems, the hospitals and the labs and the players in the room, they're finally getting to a point where we can exchange data sometimes And when that happens, this is what Dan was talking about. When that happens, and he gave a really good specific example. I bet I could go out and talk to any one of my clients right now, any one of my clients who's knowledgeable about type 1 diabetes and say, help me build a care plan for this. And I'd get a decent one.